centre of the course, coming with an electric finish. Do it again. He's coming at Rainbow Bridge. He's a board leader and he will do.
We're joined on the line now by Peter Muscutt, who's the face of the Brett Crawford stable here in KwaZulu-Natal. Good morning, Peter. How are you doing?
Good morning, Graham. Very well, thank you.
Nice runners at Hollywood Bet Scottsville on Golden Horse Sprint Day, so let's get straight into it. The first of the features, the World Sports Betting Cup Trial. You saddle number 7, Gigi's Dynasty, who's as honest and as game as the day is long. What are you expecting?
Well, obviously this is probably his stiffest test to date. But as you say, you couldn't wish for a more genuine horse to train and race. Despite his elevations in the rating, he just keeps on bouncing back and lifting his game every time he goes to the course.
Obviously, he's still amongst the Vodacom Durban July entries. Are you hoping that he can still make the final field, that he wins this and goes on to an engagement with the big race on the 25th of July?
Well, that would be the plan. You know, he's obviously have to win to be able to qualify for the race, and he's certainly not out of it. You know, he's very well. He's a fit, very happy horse. Loves Scottsville, grows a leg there, and he's got to be involved, I think.
Okay, well, one thing we can be sure of is that Gigi's Dynasty in the World Sports Betting Cup Trial is going to try his hardest. Then on to race 6, a horse that we're not really familiar with here in KwaZulu-Natal. In the Golden Horse Medallion, you saddle number 9, Remus, who won on debut in the Western Cape at Durbanville, and then followed up just the other day by finishing 5th behind Tempting Fate, which was perhaps not a bad run.
Yeah, he was. Fortunately, he's had that experience at Scottsville because he was having a look around. I do feel he has progressed since that run, and fitness-wise. His work is, you can't fault him on his work, but possibly he's got a little bit to find on the highlight horses in the race. But he's at his best, and he will run to his best.
Okay, race 7, the SA Filly Sprint, brought to us by The Witness. Now, you saddled 2 lovely fillies in their own right, Pretty Young Thing and Run Fox Run. So my first question to you, all things being equal, is there any chance that Pretty Young Thing can match strides with Run Fox Run on pure raw ability from what you've seen?
You wouldn't really think so. You know, obviously Run Fox Run has competed at the highest level. You can't fault her form. She's travelled up really well. She only arrived on Wednesday morning. She looks outstanding. Her coat is magnificent. She's straight into her manger. She's eaten well, so all that is aside. She was very bright this morning on the track, so she looks fit and ready to run to her best form as well. Difficult question whether Pretty Young Thing can elevate her form to Run Fox Run's standards, but she's very well, and she won very well last time. And she has had the experience at Maritzburg, so that might bring them a little bit closer. But on pure face value, you would think Run Fox Run would be her superior.
Now, obviously, Run Fox Run, who's done absolutely nothing wrong, being beaten only once in a career, and that was when she took on the Colts, comes up against the defending champion Celtic Sea. So obviously, there's no collateral form. Would you think that, how's the race going to pan out? Is Run Fox Run going to get out there and do a business from the front and try and ward off Celtic Sea in the closing stages, or are you going to play a waiting game?
Well, I think that we leave that up to the riders and see how they break. I think Pretty Young Thing is probably better held up for a little while because she has got a hell of a turn of foot. It's obviously going to be run at an exceptionally strong tempo early, I would think. So hopefully they've got enough in reserve where it counts.
Okay, so we wish you the best. It's going to be an intriguing clash between two high-class fillies in the form of Celtic Sea and Run Fox Run. And obviously, it's great to hear that Run Fox Run has travelled up so well. But let's move on to the Golden Horse Sprint. And here and I say we because I'm very fortunate to have a small share in number 10, Ultra Magnus, along with Brian Barara. This is a handicap. We come in with 52.5. Ultra Magnus still doing well at home.
He's doing exceptionally well, Graham. He did run slightly below expectations last time. Probably a couple of factors involved. I'm adamant that there was a track bias on the day, and he was drawn towards the outside, which he is again tomorrow. But you can't fault his work. He heads into the race in fine order. And he's better treated at the weights with a number of the field that he met last time. So, it could. I think the swing in the weights makes him right there with the best of them in the race.
Well, that's great to hear. Obviously, going into the Golden Horse Sprint in great shape and well handicapped, well weighted to have a chance. But now we move on to race 9, which is a Pinnacle affair over 1,000 metres. And I think you have two very strong runners here in the form of number 7, Buana, and number 9, Traces. We're never quite sure what to expect from Traces. He hasn't been seen in action since February. We know he's got all the talent in the world, but he is sometimes, I fear, his own worst enemy. But how are Buana and Traces doing going into the race, and what are you expecting? And which do you prefer?
Well, that's a hard one. Obviously, Buana's rock hard fit, having had 2 runs in recent weeks. He drops back to the 1,000 after competing at 1,200 metres at his last 2 starts, but he is exceptionally fast, and they're going to go like the clappers here as well. So Buana is drawn upsides what looks like the race leader in the race, Calvary, so maybe he can just get a little toe into the race from there. And Traces is also best set just off him. But he's doing very well at home. Obviously, he has got a huge amount of ability, and if he puts his best foot forward tomorrow, he'll certainly be in the shake-up.
Okay, and then the last race, the 10th and final race, you have a horse that's very lightly raced, and you've been at pains to every opportunity to tell us about the problems that Fred has, the operations that he's had. He got through his maiden win. The horse that ran second didn't exactly flatter the form on Wednesday, but Fred is a smart-looking individual. Is he heading in the right direction? Is his operation holding up? Can we expect the best of him?
Yeah, I think he's very much under the radar still. We're winning on the poly and racing on the poly. We've been forced to sort of go forward with him and to put him in a striking position, turning for home. But obviously, it's going to be a different story over a slightly longer trip tomorrow. He does have the draw advantage, and we can probably ride a better race on him on the turf. He's exceptionally fit. He's well. First run out the maidens, you always have your concerns, but I still think he's still got a lot to show and come in the future. So I would say he's also, you can't ignore him tomorrow.
Peter, thank you very much. Lovely always to chat to you. You're always play open cards with us, and that's all the public can ask. We wish you well at Hollywood Bet Scottsville tomorrow.
Many thanks. Thank you, gentlemen.